Welcome. My name is Zane and this is Straight to the Plot. I'm going to review hentai plots and rate them based on a system. I hope you enjoy the content I make on this channel, and I hope I don't get flagged if I accidentally show some titty. The series I'll be reviewing today is called Kowaremono Risa. The story has rape and incestual themes, so viewer discretion is advised. The introduction to this story is fairly simple. Risa is a teenage girl that has run away from home due to her parents' strict nature, visiting her uncle for support. This doesn't make much sense seeing as she has a boyfriend, but maybe he couldn't have done much to help her at the time. She talked with her uncle for a while, him complimenting her plenty on how well she's grown, looking her up and down occasionally. Rita didn't pay much attention to it. Risa noticed dishes piled up in the sink, leading her to ask him whether or not he was single. This disconnect tells us they haven't been in contact much at all. He was hesitant and dodgy with his words, instead telling her that he hasn't really met that special someone yet. After this discussion, her uncle offered her a bed for the night. She proceeded to lie down to rest. While she was lying down alone, she acknowledged how well her uncle was treating her. Of course he would. He wanted to take her to Bone Town. This contrast in her perception of her uncle and parents show how naive she truly is. Nobody is perfect, and the way her parents act towards her may be disciplinary and for her own good in general. After she was asleep, her uncle walked into the room and lifted up her skirt. He messed with her butt and genitals and removed and sniffed her panties. She had woken up in the middle of all this and was absolutely shocked. His excuse was that his mind did it on its own. But then, he begins making sexual advances towards her, claiming she is a delinquent and must be punished in her parents' place. Kind of a fuck thing to say, but a good way to turn the blame. He bound her hands together behind her back and taped her mouth shut, and pulled out her anime titties. He says they're bigger than the last time he'd seen them, which means he's done in the past. She tells him that she wants to go home, but he tells her he still has a boner she needs to attend to. She told him that she'd call the police, but he objects by saying that she stirred up enough trouble, and that getting the police involved would make her parents worse. This is a major flaw in the story, as the police would have labeled it a kidnapping and had the uncle thrown in prison. After that conversation, she got it in every position imaginable. Twice. Then 2 more times after the uncle had taken the condom off without telling her. Cream pie. Once he was done doing the deed with her, he drove her to the train station, from where she went home the next day. Her mom questioned her once she got home on where she'd been all day yesterday, to which Risa just abstained from the argument and ran upstairs, slamming her door. Even after her mother said she'd get her dad on her ass. That takes some balls. And she took some balls. Once she finally lies down on her bed, she receives a picture from her uncle of the panties she'd left at his house via SMS. Also a picture of him hitting it from behind. Ooh. Overall, the character development and story were both weak and more kink-driven than anything. If more effort were put into the short, there would have been a better excuse for her to stay and get railed like the working class people of New York during rush hour. The police would have arrested the uncle for rape, and her parents would have forgiven her. There were even contextual clues that she enjoyed it to an extent, such as some lines of dialogue exchanged during the scenes that I can't really discuss here, but further push the incestual kink appraisal. You'd have to watch it yourself. The official scoring for this hentai short is a 2.5 out of 5. Everything in the short is relatively weak, other than the animation, which is par. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Straight to the Plot. Have a good day, and stay safe.